Picture this. You walk into your husband's dealership just to drop off his forgotten lunch, and within 2 minutes, a stranger grabs your elbow and whispers, "Don't let her see you talking to him. She'll make your life hell." Except the her they're warning me about was supposed to be me. I just didn't know that yet. Stay with me, because this story isn't about betrayal. It's about the moment my husband found out exactly how far someone would go to steal his trust, and how far I'd go to protect what we built. My name is Emily. I'm 31. I grew up in a small town outside Columbus, Ohio, and for 4 years I've been married to a man named Nathan, who owns 3 car dealerships across the state. Nathan started with one lot and a beat-up tow truck. I watched him build an empire out of stubbornness and 5 a.m. mornings. I never worked at the dealership. I have my own thing, a small bakery downtown, and honestly, I liked keeping our worlds separate. That Tuesday, I only stopped by because Nathan left his lunch on the kitchen counter, and I had a break between orders. I walked into the main showroom in Dublin, Ohio, holding a paper bag with his turkey sandwich, expecting maybe a kiss on the cheek and back to my ovens. Instead, I heard yelling before I even reached the front desk. A woman in a sharp navy blazer was standing over a young salesman, practically a kid, tearing into him in front of 2 customers browsing a Silverado. "You don't talk to clients without clearing it through me first. Do you understand how this works here?" Her voice cut through the whole showroom like a siren. I froze. Something about her tone felt wrong, territorial, like she owned the place. Before I could even think about stepping in, a hand closed around my arm. It was Carlos, one of the finance guys I'd met once at a company 4th of July barbecue. His face had gone pale. "Don't get involved," he said under his breath. "That's Denise. She practically runs this place. People say she's closer to Nathan than his own wife. Trust me, you don't want her attention." I actually laughed, quiet and short. "Because I am his wife." "So who exactly did this woman think she was?" I didn't say a word. I just watched her dismiss the young salesman with a flick of her wrist and walk toward Nathan's office like she'd done it 1,000 times, like the carpet belonged to her. That's when I decided something. I wasn't going to storm in and cause a scene. I was going to find out exactly what Denise had built behind my husband's back, brick by brick, before I said a single word to him. If you've ever felt that gut drop moment where you realize something's been happening right under your nose, drop a comment below, because it only gets stranger from here. I found the young salesman, whose name was Tyler, out by the employee break room, hands still shaking. When I gently told him who I was, his whole posture changed, like a weight had physically left his shoulders. He told me everything, quietly, glancing at the door every few seconds like Denise might materialize. Denise was technically the general sales manager. But over the last year, according to Tyler, she'd started making decisions that weren't hers to make. She approved trade-in values without authorization. She fired 2 employees without HR ever being looped in. And she told staff, more than once, that she had a special understanding with Nathan, the kind that made people afraid to question her. My stomach tightened, but not from jealousy, from something colder. Betrayal doesn't always mean an affair. Sometimes it just means someone quietly stealing your name to build their own throne. I asked Tyler if anyone had proof. Texts, emails, anything. He hesitated, then nodded slowly. He said at least 4 other employees had screenshots, but were too scared to come forward, because Denise had made it very clear she could end careers with one phone call. That's when this stopped being about my marriage and started being about every person in that building living under quiet fear. Here's a curiosity hook for you. I didn't tell Nathan that day. I didn't tell him the next day either, because I wanted to hand him proof, not suspicion. Over the following week, I came back to the dealership under the radar, bringing donuts, chatting up employees like it was nothing. Piece by piece, the picture got darker. Denise had rerouted a vendor contract to her cousin's detailing shop. She'd threatened a service tech's job over a parking spot dispute. She'd told a new hire, straight to her face, that Nathan listens to me before anyone else, including his own family. When I finally sat Nathan down at our kitchen table in Dublin and laid it all out, his face went through about 5 stages of shock. He rubbed his jaw, the way he does when he's trying not to explode. "She told people that?" he asked, voice low. "I never gave her that kind of authority. Not even close." I believed him instantly. Nathan built his business on being the guy who remembers every mechanic's kid's name. He's not someone who enjoys watching people get bullied. He'd just been too busy running 3 lots to see what was growing in the shadows of one of them. "She's been hiding behind your name," I told him. "It's time she finds out whose name it actually is." For the first time since I'd started digging, I saw something shift in his eyes. Not anger exactly. Resolve. We didn't want to just quietly let Denise go. That would have protected her more than it protected the employees she'd steamrolled. We wanted the truth out in the open, the way she'd put fear out in the open for over a year. 30 seconds from now, this gets its biggest twist. So stick with me. Nathan called a full staff meeting at the Dublin location, the kind Denise herself used to schedule whenever she wanted an audience. He invited every single employee she'd threatened, including Tyler, including the service tech, including the new hire she'd tried to intimidate on day 1. Denise walked in wearing that same navy blazer, already heading for the seat closest to Nathan's, the one she always claimed like it had her name engraved on it. This time, I was already sitting in it. Her expression flickered the second she saw me there. Nathan stood at the front of the room. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He laid out, incident by incident, everything that had been reported. The intimidation, the unauthorized contracts, the employees too scared to speak up until now. Denise tried to interrupt, tried to reframe it as just being efficient. But Nathan held up a hand and something in the room went completely silent. Then he did something I wasn't expecting. He looked over at me and said, "My wife found all of this, not because she was hunting for a scandal, because she saw someone getting hurt and she refused to walk past it. That's who's actually been closest to me this whole time. It always has been." The room actually gasped. A few employees looked at me like they were seeing me for the first time, realizing the quiet woman who dropped off pastries every week was the chairman's wife the entire time. Denise's face went white. Every ounce of borrowed power she'd built collapsed in about 4 seconds flat. Nathan told her calmly that her employment was terminated effective immediately, and every decision she'd made without authorization would be reviewed and reversed. As she was walked out, Tyler stood up first, quiet but clear. "Thank you," he said. Then 2 more employees stood, then the new hire, people who'd been swallowing fear for months finally exhaling in the same room. If this part gave you chills, let me know in the comments, because what happened after might be my favorite part of this whole story. Nathan didn't just fix the immediate problem, he personally apologized to every employee Denise had targeted. He set up an anonymous reporting line so nobody would ever again have to whisper their fear in a break room. Tyler got promoted 2 months later, not out of guilt, but because he genuinely deserved it and finally had room to prove it. And Nathan and I, we got closer too. Not because of some big dramatic reconciliation. Honestly, there was nothing to reconcile. We got closer because that week reminded both of us why we fell for each other in the first place. He built something out of nothing with his bare hands, and I fell in love with a man who, the second he understood what was happening, chose accountability over pride, chose his people over his ego, and chose to say my name out loud in a room full of people instead of letting someone else wear it. I only walked into that dealership to drop off a turkey sandwich. I never expected to walk out having uncovered a small kingdom of fear, or to watch my husband dismantle it in under 10 minutes flat. Here's what this whole thing taught me. Silence is oxygen for people like Denise. The second someone stops staying quiet, that kind of power collapses fast, because it was never real to begin with. It was just borrowed fear nobody had questioned yet. So if you've ever been the person who almost walked past something wrong and didn't, or the person who wishes they had, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if stories like this hit something in you, hit that like button and subscribe. Because trust me, this isn't the last time someone's borrowed power is about to fall apart on this channel.